What up, people? What up? How y'all doing? Okay. Yo. Hey, what's up, Yui? Do I got people up in YouTube? Hey. Hello. Let me know you guys exist. I'll get myself set up here. By the way, I meant to say this before, but I was able to find the Crash Bandicoot game. It was Crash Team Rumble. I was able to find it, and it's 100% 100% exists, and it's still live, still going somehow, some way. Of course. There we go. All right. A couple things that we're going to be doing today. Still going to be doing some red mage leveling. I also want to set myself up for success because I have a new subject for my indie observer. So that's happening. Showtime. Oh, that nice. Oh, when did I put that in there? I'm not even too sure. A Steve Hey Yo clip. Do they even have that? Let me check. A Steve Hey Yo. Let me see. It's probably like a new meme one, maybe. Let me see. I'm gonna check in. We'll check in the library. Oh, here, Steve. Hey yo, hey yo. What's up, Ember? Hey, what's up, Isaiah? Greetings from the EU. What's up? How's it going over there? I was about to sleep, but I got notification. Wanted to say hey. Oh, you're about to. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's probably almost about time for you guys to head off to the land of dreams. Wait, is it? Let me see something. Nope. Okay, I wanted to see if like there was let me see, Minecraft movie. They probably nope, not yet. Not yet. No more. No memes. And if we were looking up Steve, let me see.
Steve, damn you!
I don't think that's what we were looking for.
I can't believe that it's finally me and you.
No, I don't think that's it. Living the new moon content. Oh, liking the new moon content, living in it too. Yeah, I haven't made too much progress in that. I've been prioritizing leveling up all of my jobs at this point, and then maybe I'll focus on like crafters, moon stuff, get the tools. And what's up, Ember? Person with pink swaying hair. Man, that's an emote, right? Holy crap. I wish YouTube's chat had like that form of emotes going for them. Here. All right. So there was a couple things I wanted to do. So firstly, we need to set ourselves up for success for the indie observer, which means I'm gonna have to set up Croc 2 some way so that I can play Croc in Croc 2 on stream, maybe Saturday. Moon's actually nice for leveling to 100 crafters. Ooh. Is it? Because I could still do collectibles. I'm thinking collectibles is probably still a bit faster, because all you have to do is like create like 25 level 91s, 25 level 93s, and then like 50 level 95s, right? Might be slower than other methods, but you don't have to buy any material. True. You're right about that. If somebody really didn't have the money for it, you're right about that, yeah. Absolutely, actually. I think it would be a good method for anybody who doesn't have a lot of money as a crafter, which is weird. Why won't you have money? It's free and mindless. You know what? Speaking of mindless, we got comments. We have comments, ladies and gentlemen, for the videos that I put out. We have comments. Some of them are very interesting. Thus, the title of the stream. Very interesting stuff. Can't wait to show you guys what's going to happen. Already had all your jobs at level 100, so not... but it's fine. Okay, yeah, true. True stuff. There's one comment in there that I saw. It was very interesting. I can't wait to show you guys all the interesting stuff. Person turquoise riding headphones. I'm betting that's another emote and it just didn't... it didn't come out very well. Gosh darn. Is it Cherry's comment? Yours was the first comment that showed up, but you know, we could show yours too. I'm not gonna say that yours wasn't important, but it wasn't yours, Cherry. It wasn't yours. It was somebody else's. Did I not have Run Fair somewhere? Oh no. That was deleted, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Run Fair was deleted off of my computer because I lost it. I lost the... Damn it. I'm gonna see if there's like a 10-minute version of this. Other than that, what's Run Fair ambient music? Oh no, yeah, that's right. I had to create my own because there's no 10-minute version of it. Okay, all right, we're okay, all right, well. So, oh, by the way, let me show you this real quick. Let me show you this real quick. This one's also interesting. Not Boogie. Boogie's not interesting. But look at the title down here. It says David Jaffe fired from lolcal live after insane rant about Keemstar's girlfriend. For those of you who don't know who David Jaffe is, he used to work on God of War. I think the classic God of Wars, to be honest. And the reason why you see Keemstar here is because he's talking to him right now. He used to be in a really stupid ass podcast that was interesting, let's just say. He had his fun there. He started talking about Keemstar's fiance and talking about he was talking with this guy who called in, talking about certain areas on the body that shouldn't be talked about in public. Yeah. So Keemstar called in and basically fired David Jaffe because he hired him in that whole podcast shenanigans. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, first of all, why would you talk about your boss's like future wife like that? Or not, he didn't even like disgrace her. He was embarrassing her, more or less. Anyway, time to swap to regular old emotes. We need to find a way. I need to find a way to get emotes on YouTube, honestly. I think there's like a plugin maybe for that. I know like every other YouTube and like streamer has it, but I don't have it. All right. So these are just the few from this video, right? And if I go back, there's like 70. Let me see if it's like updated. So no, I don't think it updated, but oh, it updated. God damn it. There's now 25 on there and 78 on here. I'll say the ones in this one, the ones in this video is a lot more scathing, just the 70%. And then there's a lot more people agreeing in this one because, you know, I mean, let's be honest, there is a dungeon, a sort of dungeon issue that we have. I don't know if it's a dungeon issue, but people have issues with dungeons. Let's just say that. I don't think the issue is the dungeon, it's people with the dungeons. Give me a second. So what the heck is happening here? What did you do, Yui? What the heck? What is going on, man? What conversation were you having with this guy? What the heck? What happened here? And this happened an hour ago. What did you want to leave a comment and then like it turned into a full-blown conversation? I hope it's nothing big. Where's the one? Here it is. Here's a funny one that I thought was kind of weird. So I read this one. Don't defend yourself against turbo casuals. They aren't invested in the game at all. Just come on, do random easy stuff, then log out and get mad because people are invested, want something that isn't brain dead easy, are asking for that. If dungeons were a tiny regular hallway with 3 doors that lead to 3 easy bosses, they would be completely okay with that. I don't know whether or not don't defend yourself against turbo casuals. I don't know if I'm like defending myself against them. I basically thought I needed to explain more on that. Just elaborated a bit about the ether chemical part a bit. The replies were fine. Yeah, this is less scathing, honestly. And this video had less scathing. In fact, I don't think really anybody had too many scathing things to say. I think mostly everybody agreed. In this one, it was a lot of scathing remarks. It was funny because I'm looking at it and I was just like, that's kind of funny. You say that, but like, you know, I'm still. Everybody's inclined to their own opinion, but it was kind of funny. Before she goes away into the ether, Cherry did leave a message all the way down here. People thinking that you're elitist are just brain dead. I don't know how in that last video people thought I was some sort of elitist, but okay. Alright, I guess I'm an elitist now. I guess I want the game to be tough as balls. You know, like so much so I wanted to be Bloodborne. That's my true goal here. I wanted to turn Final Fantasy XIV and Bloodborne into Bloodborne, the MMO. That's what I want. Time to farm top. Yeah, absolutely. I'm playing this game every single day. I'm just farming ultimates all day. Ultimates and savages. That's all I need to do. That's all I ever want. It needs to be more like that. There's an interesting comment here that I think this is the interesting comment here. You're just saying the game needs to be more difficult as a teaching method. There's no instant punishment for failing something, just a slight slap on the wrist. Dying a couple of times won't change things other than making you go, oh, so I need to dodge that this way. I mean, I don't know if you notice, but you dying to something and then you learning, oh, I need to dodge that way, kind of like that's the teaching method there. It's, and I'm not asking for people to go and die from every mechanic. I'm saying like a mechanic that hits harder or has like some sort of weakening. Like, I know that in higher tier and harder raids, damage down is the worst thing you'll ever feel because it's damage down. Overall, you won't be able to finish the fight if you have too many damage downs. Of course, there's always invulns, and invulns is like kind of the way of saying like, hey, you should probably not be in that. But, you know, hit a little harder. Getting hit a little harder, because everybody, whether you're casual or hardcore, you're always watching your health. So getting hit a little harder can just jumpstart your heart. You know what I'm saying? Damage down is a curse. It is a curse. That's why they put it in there. They knew. I started playing the game 6-ish months ago. Kind of explains. And currently in Endwalker, I'm loving it so far. A lot of the game earlier on, however, was so much of a pushover. It not only left me feeling slightly brainless, but also understimulated. Wait, 6 months? 6 months? Okay, 6 months. A rare thing for me. What point is there in the celebration if there is no struggle leading up to it? Well, I see what they're saying, but I don't think you need to really struggle. I use the word engagement precisely for the point of the definition of the word engagement. And I think for a lot of people, that's probably going to go over their heads. Just like, oh, he just wants it to be harder. I'm like, does anybody know what engagement means? Oh, this one's the real interesting one. Listen to this. On average, people have 1 to 3 hours to play a game. True. Every day, after all responsibilities are taken care of, and that's without pets or a spouse or anything else. So in that notion, everything you say here is going against the average person. The game is made to be brain dead so these people can also play the game with their absolute zero time from how the world has become slave labor, 9 to 10 hours of work plus commute. 5 days a week, leaving you negative time to have fun and do things on your own. And I'm going to read the rest of this. Will I say Sunken Temple, having all these extra things you can do is a good thing? Absolutely. As long as it's not as long as or as tedious as the Dismal Darkhold pads. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, the Dismal Darkhold has like pads where you have to stand in there for like ever. I don't think they want to change that because that's like another feature of the dungeon, and once you take that out, it literally is just a straight shot hallway with nothing to it. But as a tank main, those side objectives have to have 0 mobs in them, as I am 100% beelining to press the exit key. So that kind of shows what his goals are when going into a dungeon. He just wants to finish it. He doesn't want to really engage in the dungeon, and we'll talk about that. Nothing else. I'm there for experience, except etc. Not some chest. I want out as swiftly as possible, as everyone should. That's a mind state that I would say this person is kind of the victim of the design of dungeons. They are a victim of the dungeon's design. So I don't really blame them. Edit. Blame the game, absolutely, as the design of Dawn Trail was too hard and shouldn't even been created this way. Should be on the same level as the rest of the game, period. Now I don't know if they're trolling. now I don't know if they're trolling anymore. Now it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to think if they're trolling or not. I just keep thinking back to Mega Man X and how the game teaches everything you need to know in the intro stage. Well, obviously, dude, it's absolutely Mega Man X is one of the best games to show you how to like get into the game. And there's like slight punishments, but there are also rewards when you're curious. Thus, it encourages you to take the steps needed to actually try to play the game. Mega Man X is perfect for that. Even after the intro stage, the game's design teaches you to like, okay, say it's your first time playing Mega Man X. You have no idea who to go after, right? So you try to go after one boss after one boss after one boss. You're going after these bosses, you're getting their powers. right? And Mega Man X, the first Mega Man X, has a design that still teaches you while you're going throughout the entirety of the game, right? You see a pod that you can't reach, oh crap, oh man, I can't reach that, because you get introduced to the pod in one of the first levels of the game. You're like, wait, if Professor Light is giving me these upgrades here, then maybe I should try and find the rest of these pods. Or you start figuring out the weaknesses of these bosses, and you're like, oh crap, wait a minute, there's weaknesses to these bosses, so what if I go in this certain order? Or when you figure out that your actions actually changes some of the levels, right? Like how I think you have to go after Chill Penguin, who will affect the level of the elephant guy. And it was kind of cool when you figured out you can cut off the nose of that thing, you know? Don't care, they go play Animal Crossing if they're drained from work. I was about to actually say something like that. Should we throw these people into WoW raids and show them how long those things can be? It makes 14 dungeons look like a breeze. That's probably, actually, you're probably onto something with that. Wait, they want to get out of the dungeon as fast as possible. Do they not see the instant problem with that? No, because I think I know what kind of person they are. Hey, what's up, Verdio? What's up? No, a game requires you to get good after 6 years worth of content. Oh man, whatever shall I do? Oh god, yeah, I know. A lot of people who play a game have jobs. If he has an issue, maybe he should play Candy Crush. Maybe that's more his speed. They're making a mobile version of 14 in the first place, so like, I mean, I don't know what to tell him. Maybe he should play that version. And like him speaking like this, can I comment on the fact that he says people have 1 to 3 hours to play a game? Hello, how you doing? My name is Sankweaver, and I only play, and I can only stream maybe like 1 to 2 hours. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to, if I can get to streaming in the days I want to anymore, because I have not just work, I go to school. I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and I get back at 6 when I go to work. So you tell me, do I want to come back home and just go brain dead? No, I want something to stimulate me. So like, I'm going to leave it to him to say that maybe that's kind of the opinion that he has. He's on that side, and that's perfectly fine. But like, to try to state it, I mean, he's right in a way, because he's not wrong. He's right. Like, everything you say here is going against average people. I think I'm going against 50% of the average person, because you can't say for sure if the average person doesn't want to throw in like a ball-bustingly hard game that they can go through. Like, No Rest for the Wicked is not an easy game to play, but it's fun as hell. It's very engaging. I could say any Souls game I want. It's very engaging. And how about any competitive game ever? Like, maybe that adult comes back and plays Valorant. I don't know. Maybe they play Fortnite. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But like, if you're playing, like, I know for sure that people are playing like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is very engaging. It's very competitive. It is not something you can go brain dead in. I'm just saying, like, you can't just say like the average person just wants something brain dead. Maybe you're half right, maybe you're half wrong. That's like numbers that we got to figure out. But I believe that there are people out there who do work these 9 to 10 hour days, you know, 5 days, commutes and everything, who wants to come back and engage in something. Like, for instance, Splatoon, you may look at it, but it's very engaging. It's a third-person shooter with squid kids and it's ink, but it's a very engaging game. It's competitive. So it's like, I'm not sitting here being brain dead, and I used to do that all the time after work, you know? Can't make a game that fits every person's, right, every person's taste. Correct, absolutely. You can't make a game for everyone. But at the very least, you're making a game that has high fantasy, combat, dungeons. Like, at the very least, when someone comes back and you're now designing the game for these people who are coming back and just want to be brain dead, like, what do you think the result was? Yoshi P felt that when he fell asleep in a dungeon. right? Like he absolutely figured it out. Like, and I'm pretty sure Japanese culture is just like, I mean, come on, people are working hard over in Japan. Nothing against my Japanese people over there, right? I have some pen pals and best friends over there, okay? Nothing against them. But they work fucking hard. They work hard. And when they come back, they don't just sit down and laze about. Like, they play. I want to say that Japanese people will come back and invest a lot of time in something that could really engage and stimulate their brain. You know, they come back from hard days work and they could still want to do something more engaging and not sit back and just loaf around. Honestly, I think the East does that a lot more and the West is more lazy about it, but maybe I'm judging my own culture wrong. I don't know. I lived in the West. I've lived in the West my entire life. I can only go by what I know, what I've learned and experienced in the West. So I have no idea. Which expansion? Wait. What are we talking about? The expansion? Okay, let me see. Like, Endwalker. Yeah. We're talking about Endwalker. So this person, I'm not gonna rant on. Don't go after this guy, even though I'm showing him on stream. Don't even go in the comments to comment back or anything like that. His opinion is, I think it's his opinion, right? But I can't really say that having just brain dead content in the game is going to help your game succeed all too well. I don't know. His opinions, but I don't change it. It's the definition of mid. It is the definition of mid. You are correct. It's better, and I'm not talking about the comment itself. I want to say that his opinion is justified because that's probably the way he was. I would say his experience in 14 is the reason why he thinks this way. This is what I was talking about in the videos, that people are not really engaged at a lower level. You know what I'm saying? Like, it isn't bad, it isn't good either. It's reasonable. It's something most people are going to agree with, as it's not what people come to 14 for. True. I mean, the story's good. Why can't the dungeon be good? Or at the very least, more engaging. I shouldn't say good or bad. I should say engaging, because engaging means something. One of the biggest issues that I found personally is that there's no punishment for anything nowadays outside of Extreme, Savage, and Ultimates. Normal content used to take effort. The 80 Alliance raids on release were a mess and great fun. Great fun. Learning the mechanics, it feels like the game has been brought to the lowest common denominator, who are unwilling to go via duty support and instead expect to be carried through content. For example, in the level 93 dungeon, I had a group where the mentor, all jobs level 100, was completely unable to do their AoE rotation correctly at all. A dancer trying to AoE from across the room, and I was only one to comment explaining that. Wait, hold on. Okay, should be closer to his mobs, only to be told to shut up and that they could play how they want. It's honestly less to do with the content that I won't run roulettes without a full group, and entirely to do with the average player skill being lower than just random button mashing. It's gotten to the point where we don't even run 4-man content with a healer because it's just not needed. That's how unpunishing the normal content is. There's a lot to take away from this comment here, and hopefully this person didn't take my comments, what I said in the video, because I could feel the anger coming from this person. I could feel the anger. But I could feel it. The one thing that I will say is that duty support has probably changed this game forever, because I feel as though that they are changing a lot of the early dungeons, like ARR, Heaven's Word, and Stormblood. I feel as though that they're changing it so duty support would be a lot faster. Oh, you guys are commenting in there. Legit darn well nearly fell asleep. Oh, in the dungeons and Shadowbringers. I actually fell asleep in one of the dungeons and Shadowbringers, but I mean, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was trying to play with my friends, and my friends caught me like sleeping at the wheel, so they just finished the dungeon without me, and they they left me in the dungeon, and I was just standing there. until the game kind of just like kicked me out. Oh man. So has a full-time job, church duties, not much time to play 14, but she's not looking for brain dead content either. She gets bored easily. Doesn't she have ADHD? I have ADHD, but doesn't she have ADHD? Like, I will get uninterested real fast. If I saw those two doing that, I'd auto attack to punish them. Oh my god, old dungeons are even more boring when you were playing as a caster or a healer. It feels horribly boring. I have to comment on that. Yes, I was trying to level up one of my healers. Essentially, I'm trying to level up Astro, and even before their cards felt like something, they literally only had like 2 buttons really for like healing at lower levels. It was kind of boring. I honestly did almost fall asleep at the wheel. I was thinking on the 10th or the 11th dungeon run trying to level up a job. Oh god. Toddy with ADHD, not to my knowledge. I know she's an empath, but that's it. Okay. Alright. I thought she had ADHD. Oh. Dancer being a deadweight. Jeez. Dancer being a deadweight. Oh man. Jeez. Oh man. I don't know, man. I don't want to say anything about the answer, because you never know if they just hit them with the biggest update ever and they become the strongest physical ever. Oh yeah, I wanted to read what's going on with this, Yuri. Ether chemical, last point, just a extra FYI for people that want to make the argument, well, it feels squishy right now because we're easily overgeared. We did this dungeon while setting the party to min eye level. Even with this on, the bosses were still very squishy compared to what they were before. Sync forgot to mention that when talking about that part. Yes, that is true. Could also be the boss used to be a little too tanky. I do remember always finding the ARF. the ARF too heavy. The ARF. I'm sorry. The ARF. Don't you love our acronyms? guys. We're doing tour today. What? We're doing tour. What's the new one? What's the new acronym for Ultimates? What's the new acronym? What was it? Like Rue or let me see. It's Tombstone. There we go. There he is. Oh wait, there he is. This is him. By the way, this is the new site that everybody's going on other than that other place. Fru. There we go. Fru. It's called Fru. look at these acronyms. UCOB, UWU, T, DSR, Top, Fru. Don't you love our acronyms? Chaotic Raid, COD. Hey guys, we're doing COD today. We're also going to be doing a little bit of Fru. I love it. I love our acronyms, man. Not entirely. I think the boss were tanky enough to the point that every mechanic was shown at least once. Later on, of course, with eye level being higher. That's true. I should have said that in the video. You did catch me on that. We were at min high level when we were doing all of those dungeons, by the way. Min eye level on Halatali as well. So when our healer was testing out the waters for the electric attack, for the electric water, thunder water, or whatever, the electric water, they sat there, took it, and only lost like 1/3 of their health. And they're a healer, by the way. They're a healer, which means that they should be the squishiest out of all of us in terms of that role, you know. And it's the same thing when we were doing ether chemical. It's the same thing when we were doing ether chemical. We were at min eye level, so that means that we wanted a little bit of engagement, a little bit of a challenge. It wasn't challenging at all. Every mob was squishy as all heck, and the bosses didn't feel like they were very engaging in itself. And the bosses are, as we all know, are the highlights to every dungeon. And honestly, I can't remember the bosses, whether or not they were even interesting. I can't remember because I don't even know if they had any changes, and if they did have any changes, I didn't notice. We made the last boss, of course, had changes to it, but man, this isn't that eye level is high. It isn't that eye level is higher, by the way. Over the years, they've raised the base potential, potencies of skills significantly too. That's why enemies feel so squishy. You're right, because I do remember when the Reaper came out. And instead of like nerfing the Reaper, they just decided to raise everybody else's DPS up. Maybe that's the turning point there. I don't know. They were just like, everybody's weaker than the Reaper? Nah, we can't have that. Like, don't nerf the Reaper, but you know, we're gonna just have everybody get a little bit of Super Saiyan juice. That's what we're gonna do. The attack magic based healers and mages have high magic defense. True, you're right about that, but even if like if I was in the water, I probably wouldn't even lose maybe a quarter of my health. If I was sticking in the water, I'm a tank. I could just go in there and just move on. Plus they took away the invulnerability. So like you're supposed to get out of the water and you're getting attacked by these like electric spirits. That's how old HELLCATS was. So you would be dealing with the ads, and then the boss would be invulnerable. You can't attack it, but instead you can just attack right through it. You know, this mindset here that this person had. Again, don't search them out. Don't try to attack them or anything like that. This person, I think, is a victim of dungeon design that we've had over the years. Like, honestly, the game is made to be brain dead. Why? I mean, they're not wrong, but why? Why does it need to be brain dead? Why does it have to be like, you know, everybody's coming after work, everybody's tired, so we're just going to ease up on the game. You don't have to challenge yourself. Nothing engaging at all. Just turn your brain off and start clicking one to three buttons, get through the dungeon, and just do that. Like, it's not engaging at all. I mean, other people play other MMOs, right? Like World of Warcraft can be very engaging because of the raids and dungeons and that. Not to mention old school RuneScape can be very engaging. I realize that old school RuneScape has some sort of like magic where you're engaged with the repetitive that you're doing, you know? I think a lot more of these are actually more positive here. I was trying to find like more scathing comments. With trust and duties being an easy mode option these days, I see absolutely no reason to make duty finder dungeons at least a little more dynamic, and frankly, getting chipped for 15 to 20% on your health for standing in a telegraphed AoE with a 2-second windup is kind of insulting the player's intelligence. Trusts are arguably harder. Trusts are harder? Let's see what they say. Trusts are arguably harder. If the player is KO'd, the fight is wiped. You can be completely terrible at the game, but if you're not the healer, your party will survive the encounter as they can keep raising you. Further, trusts do not allow tombstone leveling as roulettes do, so the only way this would work is if a trust NPC raised the player. The player could enter a roulette with their full trust party. Does anybody see the fallacy in that? Trusts are arguably harder? What? By what means, my brother? What? Like, trust is literally the easy mode of the game. Like, you're doing it by yourself with NPCs, but the NPCs know where to go in every single fight. Like, even if you get hit, their healing is overpowered. So, like, what are you talking about? Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that, chat? Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong about that. AR is supposed to be a tutorial nowadays. However, is supposed to be slightly rougher tutorial. Stormblood is meant to be a nudge. Shadowbringer is meant to put you to sleep, and everything past is supposed to be a little more involved. It's supposed to put you to sleep. You know what the harshest thing is that I love Shadowbringers. It's like my favorite expansion, but like you're probably right about that. I keep saying newer players and even older ones get softened up with this approach. Endwalker suddenly happen and people get wrecked. And the worst part, Endwalker is not the hardest expansion we've got. True enough. True enough. I don't even know if people are getting wrecked in Endwalker. I know as soon as they hit Dawn Trail though, they're like boo-hooing and crying and making forums saying how it's harder for no reason. Like, I did not realize how many people were actually complaining about Dawn Trail's difficulty. Trusts aren't hard. Yeah, nothing more engaging in OSRS than alking 2 hours like I'm doing right now. If you die in trust, you wipe outright. Yeah, so one fuck up and boom. I mean, true. Yeah, if you die in trust, yeah, you wipe outright. That's true, especially bad in some fights more than others. I just think that when you have NPCs that know where they're going, I don't think it's the hard. I don't think it's harder. I just don't think it's harder. NPCs in trust show you where to stand. How is it harder? I don't know. They are. You can recover effortlessly in a group, but if you die in a trust, it's GG outright, and it's a lot slower, more chances to fuck up. So, I mean, if that's the case, if I'm wrong about that, right? If that's the case, I will say this: in every trust I've ever been in, you pay attention to the NPCs, and they'll go directly to where you want to go. So, following that up, right, I have never died in any trust. If you're dying to a dungeon that you just got in, okay, I get that. But I pay attention to the NPCs all the time. And then after following that, it's like, okay, I think I'm good. Like, I wouldn't know anything. Like, honestly, the NPCs in trust are basically Cactbot. They're basically Cactbot. I mean, when you're targeted for a stack, they go to you, which is the funniest thing, right? Like, they come immediately to you. They walk right under you, so they know what they're doing. Cherry has seen Alfie die in trust multiple times, even though he's a sage. Oh. We've all seen trusts fuck up sometimes repeatedly. Okay, I get you. I mean, yeah, they do fuck up sometimes. I usually see like the tank fuck up, but I don't think I've ever seen a trust die. They rely on you to act. Fair enough. You seen the trust versus the 99 trials? Did I ever do that? I think I did. I think I had a easier time doing a trust at the 99 trial than I did with actual people, though. And that's probably because it was specifically designed that way. Was it 99 trial? I think there's a 100 trial. Cause you guys have me thinking. Are we talking in any NPC except Y'shtola? All of them. No, I mean, they're right. Technically, NPCs can go in and start doing some dumb shit. I've seen NPCs get hit or stand in AoEs or get hit in AoEs and just they get healed. I've never seen multiple times. I've never seen an NPC die. The Wave of Light. So that's Heidelin's trial? Are you talking about? Okay. Yeah, I've never... I did that with NPCs. I've never seen any of them get, like, destroyed by that. I've been in that trial with actual people and seen people get wiped out from that. I don't know. Oh, if they're not aware after, I don't know, two years of that expansion being out, 2 or 3 years of that expansion being out, I don't know what to tell them. Alfie always dies? I don't know. Maybe, okay, well, if that is the case, I'll take your word for it. I know trust's messed up, but if they're dying to a trial like that, then that kind of shows the limited design of trusts in the first place, honestly. Okay. So, I mean, okay, so then are we saying that trusts are arguably harder? Are we agreeing with this guy? Saying that trust is arguably harder? Trusts do not allow tombstone leveling as a result. Because if trust is literally harder, if it's arguably harder to go through a trust in dungeons, I don't know about trials. Trials seems like something that they're gonna have to work on. But like me going through a dungeon with trust, I've never had like a problem. So I don't know. Maybe they're still working on it. Maybe trials is a different kind of thing. And they have to be careful what they program. By the way, excuse me, I'm burping. I agree with this one. A lot of hats, pools, Crystal Tower, final. Okay, cutscenes and party content. Boss arena needs to be locked off until everybody is out of cutscene, so other players don't pull boss early. Then after final boss is beaten, the cutscene happens when they exit the instance, not after the boss just defeated. So we just don't have to wait for a cutscene to finish, so newbie players can finally roll on loot. I agree with that, actually. I don't know about cutscenes mid-dungeon. I want to say that cutscenes mid-dungeon, especially for main scenario, honestly, I think Praetorium should just have its own roulette. Just Praetorium. I don't know. I just don't want to go through movie Praetorium roulette. Like the amount of experience you get from it is not really justified for me. It's not even a whole level anymore. Some dungeons you can accidentally eat an extra AoE because of trust went and trolled you. I think that's limitation on the AI probably. Sometimes you pick a group of trust that are slow AI, true. Or it could be Y'shtola and you're like, oh, Y'shtola, I'm going to stand over here, and then she teleports over to somebody else and I'm like, you bitch. That's happened to me a couple times. I would run to her because I'm like, maybe she's standing in the right spot. Gone. Funny thing is, before Trust, we had something worse. The Squadron, where you had to lead the team. I think the Squadron was beta Trust. Well, the more you use the Squadron, the better. Yeah, Praetorian Castrum should be instanced, to be honest. I think overall, I think Castrum is not as bad, but I don't think we need like every other cutscene is very short, but I don't really think we need the cutscene before the final boss, honestly. And if we go through Castrum, I think you should get as much in terms of experience as you would in Praetorium, which should be a whole level, to be honest. There's a time period for Squadron had trick for infinite squad LBs, if I remember. I didn't know that was even a thing. Swag Stola getting you killed. True. All right, on to the scathing comments. Let's see. Wait, I'm so tired of current add-on formula and the way they design them. What? I also hated the way they handled the story of the world building in Dawn Trail. Even Stormblood was better. Why not change the predictable trial, dungeons, and zone structures? By the way, if I were to add something to that, so Shadowbringers, the last story dungeon was a memory. Endwalker was a memory. Dawn Trail was a memory. We had 3 memories for the last dungeon for 3 expansions in a row. It's kind of funny. Think about that for a second. Instead of making 6 zones every add-on, why is they saying add-on? Do they mean expansion? Make only 3 large ones that are more connected with each other, like the Realm Reborn zones, to give the team more resources for other things, or give us an exclusive MSQ zone just for the patch. That's an interesting take. No, I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna let them have that. I'm gonna let them have that. This is an interesting take. Start of the 10-year saga could have been something big. What keeps me from returning is the stubbornness to start to innovate and derail from their born calculated, homogenized with efficiency planned content. UGP always. I mean, I see what they're saying, because I know even if 8.0 will be different, which I highly doubt, I still have to go through Dawn Trail's terrible patch content. To be fair, the story did get better in Dawn Trail via these patches. Kind of. It did get sort of better. Give me a second. I mean, I still like Sphene. She's still my favorite character that came out of Dawn Trail to be, like, favorite new character that came out of this. I mean, it's a different Sphene, though, so. A lot of times, Cherry can stack, they don't run to Cherry, they run somewhere else and stack there instead of on Cherry. That's crazy. I don't know, maybe I'm having a different experience than everybody else then. Medion and Sphene? Oh, Medion too. I do like Medion as a character as well. Wooklamont be evil so we can kill her. Make Wooklamont evil. We could ask if they meant expansion. I think they mean expansion. I think they mean expansion. You're the only one that ruined the story for Jerry. Oh boy. Wooklamont is a detriment to a lot of people. To be honest, when I got to Endwalker, I was not excited anymore about the story when I was doing a dungeon. So guess what I skipped through? Oh my gosh. Didn't care about the mechanics, didn't care about the trash fights or nothing. I mean, that's to each their own. I know people who skip the story and just want to get to the harder content. So that's completely, I understand that. Some people just don't care about the story. That's perfectly fine. But like, if you have people who don't care about the story, trying to do the content that you're trying to get people into at the end game, which are, let's be honest, you're coasting people through the game. Then, you know, surprise, surprise, don't be surprised when they say, this is kind of boring. Deuces. Would love to have damage over time jobs back in the game. I get a little bit of that from the bard, but the job is also spinning a dozen other plates at the same time. I think they said the debuff limit is why they've been de-emphasizing dots, but seems they've turned the knob in the opposite direction, just up the debuff limit, and it should be fine. I don't know what they're gonna do with the dots. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know, but Machina is my best job ever. One issue there is your best doesn't even come close to the worst of Pictomancer. Face rolling their keyboard. Face rolling their keyboard can do it. It's just one side that the balance is Face roll with the keyboard though. It's like you give your friend is trying to play Machinist so well, they're doing so well with Machinist, and then you're like, listen man, here, just switch to Pictomancer, and they're like, what? I don't know how to play it. Just no, you'll be fine. just you know, just smack your face against the keyboard, you'll be fine. It was like, what? I mean, okay. They button mash and they do like 50 times more damage. That's funny. Don't blame me on third-party tools. I thought they had rules against using such tools. They still have. Oh, I'm okay with that. Oh, this guy. Oh, this guy is one of the more he's more of the positive. He comments a lot though. Oh yeah. Here's the real guy right here. Here's the real guy. No way I'm reading this. Christ, this is a novel. Lol, it's not that long, he says. Alright. Chat. Am I reading this comment? I answered to one of his comments, which was like all the way down here, I think. Am I reading this comment? He writes a whole story. Oh, not even my comments are that long. I know. But here's the thing. He got 3 thumbs up. Well, this person got 10 thumbs up. It's okay to criticize something. Sick. You don't like it anymore. Don't play. Don't play it. Fairly simple. It's okay to criticize something. Final Fantasy players get really upset when you critique Yoshi P and his garbage game. No, I didn't even say it was garbage. It is garbage game Final Fantasy 14. It's pretty interesting how much a cult mentality Final Fantasy 14 players have. Well, I mean... Some guy was just like, log off, and he's like, it's okay to critique something, and they're like... So, I mean, you know, Yoshi P made this garbage-ass game. I laugh at these things because it's like, it's funny to laugh at them. Like, this person probably hates Final Fantasy or doesn't like Final Fantasy, right? He's probably looking at this and, you know, agreeing with, like, the points of, like, yeah, this game is boring as shit. And then... it's funny how it's, like, it's pretty interesting how much of a cult mentality Final Fantasy 14 players have. I mean, listen, he put in the effort. He deserves you to put in the effort to reading it. You're right, man. Fuck it, let's do it. You should go back and look at why jobs were changed. Of course, the constant summoner changes until it became what it did, and Endwalker can really make one scratch their heads. Who knows why, but it was like a new job every expansion. I loved it at the beginning of Shadowbringers, but then people were complaining that you had to hit too many buttons, etc. So they made a change that took that away early on, and then really rectified that for Endwalker. Funny. Too many buttons, people versus not enough buttons. Honestly, this game has too many damn buttons that need to be pushed during combat. People saying it doesn't must have not gotten past level 50. Guess they don't know. They probably never. I don't know if they're a tank main. I don't know, like the only tank with like that many buttons. Well, there's 2 tanks that have that many buttons, really. Well, okay, let's be fair. There are a ton of buttons for each tank except warrior, let's be honest. And even still, that's not enough buttons. But that's my opinion because I'm a tank main, and I main Dark Knight, and Dark Knight literally has 1 2 3 1 2 3 button, 1 2 3 1 2 3 button. I'm just saying, button 1 2 3 button 1 2 3, no button 1 2 3. Okay, button. I'm just saying. But okay. I mean, that's fair enough. I don't know whether or not he sees that there's too many buttons. Wait, he says this game has too many damn buttons that need to be pushed during combat. I mean, that's a kind of a fair opinion to have if you think it does have too many buttons, but at the same time, like, if you're only pressing one button and it gives you your whole entire rotation, y'all know what I'm referencing. I would think the entirety of the game would probably become less engaging. Bart is a freaking circus of buttons. Ever played Ninja? I don't know if they are Ninja main. Healers have the most cherries, believes. Maybe they do. I think they might. I've seen Astra. Astro has a lot of engagement in what they have to do. Black Mage has 31 buttons. Well, there you go. I guess there are too many buttons. I don't know. I think they probably would enjoy if, like, Final Fantasy went the route of PvP buttons, where rotations were all actually on one button. Maybe. But piercing, slashing, etc. was removed because jobs would be excluded for some content. Remember, when this game was made, it was developed by the Final Fantasy XI team. Another team took over 11 to continue to run and maintain it. Okay, so that's factually wrong. There were some people who were in the Final Fantasy XI team, but it wasn't the entirety, because at this point, Final Fantasy XI was already like 13, 14, 15 years old when they started development. Maybe 10 years old when they started development on Final Fantasy XIV. Not all of them was all there. There was also like half new people who had to like learn what they did in 11. But 11 had a very bad problem of people being excluded from content. What? 11 had a very bad problem of people being excluded from content. What? Did they play 11? What? Okay. Alright. I don't think I want to let them believe that, to be honest, because 11 did not have a problem excluding people due to content. 11 had a problem because it was old and it was archaic and it's behind in the times. It didn't exclude people from content unless you didn't buy the expansion. Then that's the only exclusion I can see. I don't know, because they were too fucking lazy, let's be honest. Like, back when I was playing 11, people were sending me like DMs in chat because I was maining tank, right? Like, I always mained tank like jobs. My favorite job was Rune Fencer, which was one of the better tank jobs. So I kept getting, hey, do you want to level here? Hey, do you want to level here? Hey, do you want to do this? Hey, you want to do a raid? Hey, you want to take on this bite? This boss? Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me get this job? Hey, like, I don't know. There was more camaraderie in 11 than I think there is in like 14, to be honest, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. After 14 fails, they sure don't want that crap to happen. So they gutted a lot of cool RPG elements like slashing, piercing, blunt, etc., and elemental resistances, etc. Even removed cross-class abilities as well, partly for the same reason, but also because as time went on, it would be too difficult to manage and balance. I mean, he has a point with the last part. It would be too difficult to manage and balance, but at the same time, I don't know if this was like the same reason why they took out slashing, piercing, and blunt. I know they simplified it because it was probably hard to keep up with, maybe, but when they took out slashing, piercing, blunts, which was like the only things that kind of really like mattered, like if something was more prone to being destroyed by magic and stuff, of course I understand a lot of people are going to go about saying like, hey, you can't play with us because you're only maining one job, which is not really necessary for the game. Like, no, I don't believe Final Fantasy, or I don't think at this point any MMO. I want to say World of Warcraft is something I would need to invest in to see, like, if they would kick out somebody because of their job. Probably not. But I know back in the day, people got kicked out because they were like, oh, you're playing, if you're not playing Bard, don't join. If you're not playing Ninja, don't join. People wanted Dragoons because of their piercing ability. They had a piercing effect on their lances. People wanted Dark Knight because it was the highest damaging tank. But they would never, like, say, we don't want Warrior or we don't want Paladin. Paladin survived, and, you know, in the Realm Reborn, they had a raise. In Heavensward, they were just completely and utterly tanky, though their usage did fall. I will admit that. Why y'all talking about Mr. Happy? Oh my gosh. When y'all start talking about Mr. Happy? Dude, wasting your time writing a book in the comment sections. I want to do the Ultimate Balls and Ultimate Destiny. Do you got a at least Scorpion harness? Fuck no, who wants to farm that? I mean, even today, like, people get kicked out because they don't have something, but at the very least, I think every job is viable. By the way, 3k spell speed, Black Mage is the best. Oh my gosh. The reason they removed cross-slash classes is because people were being excluded because tank players were expected to say level a healer. I mean, hey, I don't know why they could have innovated on the cross class. If that's their reasoning, I guess that's their reasoning. They removed cross class. Oh my goodness. Being excluded. People were being excluded because tank players were expected to say level a healer. This was unpopular, so they just made them generally unavailable. You know what innovation you could do with cross class abilities, man? Paladin had a raise. That was useless. That was useless. Are you sure it was useless? Happy typo. Oh, that was a happy typo. Oh man. Think somebody's gonna beat their horn. I was like, why are we talking about Mr. Happy? Imagine if we still had subclasses, bro. It'd be more exciting a little bit, at the very least. No one big reason for a lot of job changes are the players, specifically players that cry it is too hard to play, i.e. Summoner early, Viper at the launch of Dawn Trail. That one's a weird one. Viper, the people who were complaining about Viper and them upkeeping a buff was weird to me. But another key factor is how they use parsing tools to determine what jobs are good or not. And even though this game is exceptionally well balanced, not all jobs will be parsing the exact same amount every battle. I mean, to be fair, we know that Yoshi P and his team look at those. We know this. We can't hide from that. The truth is, they do parse. They do look at these things. They see the numbers. There's the reason why they do changes on the balance. But like, there is truth to be told about them saying it is well balanced, not exceptionally well balanced, but it's well balanced. So there is truth to be told in that. So dots, well, hold on, I was parsing the exact same time. So dots had to go, still some around, because they can lower a parse and make a job look out of balance. You mean like Summoner, because it was the strongest job in Heavensward? The jobs are so damn homogenized now, and it's all because of the player base. When people want to play a job because it is a few % off of another one and doesn't offer enough utility support to make up for it, then Square Enix has to step in and make the job attractive again and make another job not as attractive. Well, that's seeing it in black and white, but I can understand what he's saying there. I can understand that. I can understand why he says that. You know, that it is the player's fault that a lot of these jobs are changed the way that they are. I can understand that. I would say if you are a company and you follow everything people are complaining about, your game's just not going to be successful, because you need to make the grand responsible decision to say, I'm not going to listen to that for this one, but I will take that because that's a good idea. At the very least, that's what I think, right? There are some things I agree that you kind of want to listen to the player base for, but there are just some things that, like, you question, like, how did that make even a difference? Like changing Viper so that they don't have to keep up with a buff that, I don't know if you've noticed, but Reaper and Dragoon has had something that they had to keep up for maybe a few years now. I mean, the Reaper has to keep up with a debuff that they have to put on, and they constantly have to put on. I don't hear a lot of Reapers really complaining about that. Machinist was too hard for people to play, or so many said, so it got changed. Is that true? Was Machinist really hard to play? I guess it was. I don't know. They said the same thing about Astro. It was underperforming, at least. Machinist is underperforming. Unless you were extremely good at it. I think Machinist is underperforming, even with people who are really good. Machinist honestly was in RNG Fest. It wasn't RNG Fest. It was a shitty RNG Fest. Oh gosh. You are right. It was a shitty RNG Fest. I mean, I would say the same thing with Bards. Bards can feel that way too. Like, it did feel that way with the RNG on that one. It has a one hit too in PvP. If you guys haven't played Machinist, which is like one of the best jobs to play in PvP, it has a chance to one hit some guy with buzzsaws. So if somebody had like godly RNG, I hated that so much because I seemingly would get hit by it all the time. It was like, buzzsaws, you can't kill. I'm on the ground. What the hell happened? I'm just like, what the hell happened? Healers don't complain about healers unless you look back to what I didn't complain about healers, by the way. I didn't complain about healers. I complained for the healers in this video. I complained for the healers. So I'm not complaining about them, I'm complaining for them. Okay, but whatever. Don't complain about healers unless you look back to what happened in Stormblood. Remember the Q situation then? If you were a healer, pretty much instant. So many people queued up as green DPS. So many queued up as Scholar and didn't heal, and people wiped so much, the healers got punished, and Shadowbringers losing a lot of damage abilities. Scholar is still getting punished for what people did with that job in Stormblood. I just don't believe that at all. I don't believe that. What? I don't know. Was that a thing, guys? Was Scholar just going in because instant people were going as Scholar to be green DPS? Was that a thing? I was born in PvP was so great. Put the dots up, burst the guys. Oh my gosh. No? I don't believe that statement for Stormblood. I don't, if that, because I never felt that. Like, I just don't know about that one. Remember the queue time situation? Yeah, I remember what happened in Stormblood. Like, it would take, I want to say there was like there was near instant for tanks, not instant. Healers were getting insta queues. Tanks were getting like near insta queues. I think Scholar was kind of used in low level content for the green DPS. Yeah. Oh shit. Hey yo, what's up, Alex? With the subscribe on YouTube. Thank you, man. Thank you for the subscribe on YouTube, brother, even though they're probably not here. I don't remember. So you're saying that in low levels, they were using Scholar for green DPS. I just don't know, man. I don't know. The fairy could heal a lot passively, true, but I just don't know. You don't need to ever heal, you could prioritize dropping the dot spread combo. True. What the hell happened there? Something happened. Something happened on my screen. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know what that warning was. Of course, you somehow missed the elephant in the room, the 2-minute meta that was born out from people complaining about difficulty of lining up buffs. So they made most buffs 1 or 2 minutes and Shadowbringers, then the ones they weren't were converted to a 1 to 2 minute during an Endwalker. Well, actually, he's kind of right with that one. Yes, the 2-minute meta blows. People complain about it, but at the same time, they got what they wanted. It's the cautionary tale of be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. I don't think people asked for a 2-minute burst window. I don't think anybody ever asked for that. I think they wanted to balance it to the point that there were 2-minute or 1-minute burst windows, which, like, I don't think anybody really asked for that. Pippin Savage of Robotics stream. That's funny. It's again only in the low level content, but it wasn't for raids. Maybe if it was happening in the low levels, then like, you know, I can understand that. I don't know if it was like spreading all around. I've played in like the entirety of the time for Stormblood, and I've never really witnessed that. Maybe some phases in raid, I don't know. But the elephant in the room is the 2-minute meta. Here's the thing about the 2-minute, 1-minute meta. Some jobs go from 2-minute to 1 minute to 2-minute to 1 minute. Some jobs go from 2-minute to downtime for 5 minutes to having like a 1-minute burst. And then there are some jobs that have like 2-minute, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 2 minute. Like, I think the worst one would probably be, again, I'm going to say this, Dark Knights have a whole burst window for the 2 minutes, and then they have downtime for like 5 minutes. I won't say 5 minutes, that's unfair. I would say, yeah, they have like a downtime of like 2 to 3 minutes until they get like a 1 minute burst window. They're right with the 2-minute meta came as a result, constantly complaining about the jobs being down abnormally and thus having to wait out the combined bursts. So they made the 2-minute window, made some numbers look bigger than others. Yeah, I won't complain too much about the I won't complain. I won't go against the whole 2-minute meta, but I don't know if that was something that we asked for. I mean, we could. I do think we did complain though, so I might be wrong about that one. It did make some, yeah, it did make some jobs worse because of that. It did. It really did. We didn't outright ask for the 2-minute window. We did ask for syncing. True, we did ask for that. Red Mage still can't burst properly at the start of a fight. That's, I don't know about Red Mage. Red Mage is something that I would have to look into in terms of their opener. In the relic system in Endwalker, same thing. People constantly complaining about Eureka and Bojin. Actually, you know, having to play if they wanted to make an optional relic, yeah, they seem to forget that relics were optional, like 24-man, Savage, Extremes, etc. So we got the crappy drive-through relic system in Endwalker, and then people complaining about losing the only grindy content in the game. Yoshi P actually stated in an interview that he was surprised over the outrage. I don't know why he would be. You get rid of dungeon, people cry. Get rid of raids, people cry. If you remove the content a certain type of gamer likes, they're going to complain. Yeah, this is the whole you can't please everybody thing, really. Like, you do this because you think a lot of people were like going crazy over this, about how like, oh, it takes so long to get your relic, it's too grindy, right? You complain about it, and you know what? the funny thing is, as soon as they put that relic in there, as soon as they did Endwalker relic, everybody else was complaining. The other half of the people complained about it because it was too easy to get through, including myself. So like, I mean, they're right about the relic system. I don't know, like, in the whole thing about the relic system, that is still just going to be my opinion. Some people actually like it that way. Some people like it that way. Odds are, the moment they get those relics, they're going to not use them anyway. Or anyhow, yeah. I mean, it's still people's opinion on the relic. I'm going to be on the side that it's so boring, it was so dumb that I just really, I was not invested in that. Yeah, I know. The other ones were grindy. I think Boja was kind of like, was fun when it came down to making a relic. You know, but the problem was that your relic was tied to Boja, and when everybody is like done in the first few months, Boja was going to be empty. So it's like, gotta find something else, you know, like, unless you're going to change the content for people to solo it. I'm just saying, like, you gotta be careful with, you know, tying a certain weapon to something that kind of relies on people being there. So people will always complain. It's just to find how many complaining. And Walker relics are lame. Even now, I'm passively getting them. It's tricky to embrace what your team wants to do. You can't. I need to move this. You can't please everyone. Do what your team has as a group. Finds fun, and will attract people in that style. That's why 2x and 3x were so popular. Wait, didn't people No, they didn't complain about 2x or 3x. I think they complained about the light grinding specifically. If you fuck up. Original Diadem. Anybody remember Diadem? Boja was just right. Some people don't like Boja. Some people like the latter half of Eureka a lot more. I still hate Eureka. I still hate Eureka. What's this? So in short, it's fine to have opinions, but don't try to act like a game designer or forcing change onto a game. Too many people do this, as the game always suffers for it. Giving critique, I think, is always a positive thing. Whether it's a wrong or right critique, giving a critique and the reason for the critique, I think, is like, means speaking your opinion. Game designers for these games have to take a whole game's health into consideration when they are working on it. Players, they do not. They think about how to benefit themselves, screw the rest of the game, and even then, most gamers don't think beyond 1 or 2 steps up their ass. So when they get something they wanted, they are upset because it's not what they want. Well then, here's my question to you. If not giving criticism or your opinion on something in anything, right? How do you think other games evolve, right? It's the players that give their opinions, it's the players that talk about the games, it's the players who play the game. And when the next iteration of something of the same genre, or maybe it's a live service game like this one, right? When you listen to the players of the majority who are talking about this and it's agreed upon, it's most likely a positive change. And most likely a positive change, I say that because players do know what they want, right? Players do know what they want, but you're also right because players have no idea what the fuck they want. And it's so weird, right? The dynamic is so weird. Players know what they want, but players also don't know what the fuck they want. If it's a game that's been played for 10 years and you have a bunch of players, a good majority saying the same thing, would you not listen to that? But at the same time, if you're getting suggestions from only a small group of people who play small groups or small different types of content and you're only listening to them, I'm just saying. I mean, it would probably end up bad. That's a good analogy. You got to cut some fucking hands off and decide who are proper sous chefs. That is a good analogy. MMOP is a legitimate case of too many hands in the kitchen. That's true. I would say that. But I would also like invest some time listening to the people who are all saying the same thing. Like, why are they all saying the same thing? Like, one case in point, I want to just say that WoW is probably the perfect example for this. Remember when they said that people didn't want to play Classic, people didn't want to play Vanilla, right? They even said, you don't want to play that. Remember the old stuff, the old systems? You don't want that. We know you don't want that. And then a couple years later, they were just like, so I know a lot of you guys like Vanilla, and everybody was just like, oh, are they gonna do it? And then they came out with Classic WoW, and people, you saw how many people resurged back into the game because of Classic WoW. You need to find the cutoff for how many is enough voices. True. That's the reason why I said people who are saying the same thing. Because if people are saying the same thing, then it's a lot easier to hear the biggest issue. Like, if you're only going to listen to the small group over here who are saying, oh, you know what I think? I think we need to up the DPS for these certain jobs and classes, right? But they're like a small, maybe they're like the best. They're the best raiders in the game, right? These are like the best people who play in raids and stuff. If you listen to them, right, then the larger mass of people who aren't at the top 1% will probably suffer. Especially when voices are split all over the place. True. Can we up the DPS for Samurai? I wanted to kill everything in 1-3 mark lion roleplay. Oh my gosh. Sanger's Zunvol. Oh my god. From Robot Super Robot Wars. Man. Even I know that name. I have never done any. I've not interacted with anything Super Robot Wars, to be honest. Essay in the comments. Bro, I was just about to write one. Everybody was about to write an essay. Wait, what is this? Ween again. Get out of my game, thank you. This ain't your game and people can complain. Look at the toxicity of WoW and how their dungeons were for a long time. There would be times I'd queue for a dungeon, wait a long time, and then watch people leave after a single wipe, or because someone pulled an extra pack of mobs by accident because they didn't path 100% correctly. Content where every player has to experience it have to have a baseline where it's not going to be frustrating enough. Everyone just leaves or is rewarded with leaving if something goes wrong. That's WoW. I don't think that's Final Fantasy. Do I know Sanger? I'll be honest with you. I hear the name maybe a few times in my life, but I am not involved with Super Robot Wars. I'm not involved. It's like if I were to make a comparison. I want to like an obscure, like some sort of obscure subject here. Like, you know what? I'll do something that I do know that other people might not know. So like if someone started talking about like Zidane Tribal or Zidane Tribal from like Final Fantasy IX, right? They could have said, oh, I know Final Fantasy IX, but who the heck is Zidane? There you go. Like they're like, what the heck is a Zidane or a Zidane? Calling that obscure is evil. I'm not saying that it is obscure, but I did not experience it. Oh my gosh. We're gonna get me into that? I can't help but focus on your point. You must be this tall to ride argument when talking about dungeons. The standard dungeon experience is there to facilitate telling a story. You can run it solo with NPCs and complete them. It's not supposed to be a difficulty check, nor should it. I would be very curious to hear your argument on why some people should be gatekept from reaching max level in this game because they are not good enough. Never said that. Because like you're briefly mentioned, if you seek more challenges and difficulty experience, we have plenty of content for it and a very gradual difficulty curve. Some people want difficult content, some people don't and just want to play dress up in their Warrior of Light. It seems like a very weird flex trying to play gatekeeper in a dungeon with new players rather than go and play the content that is at your expected skill level. So I didn't ask that. I didn't say that neither. I didn't say that I wanted this to be, hey, you must be this tall to ride is what you're saying. I never argued that. I said the dungeons should be more engaging. I think the dungeons should bring people up while they're going from, like, you're starting from Sastasha, right? While you're gaining the experience going up to level 50 to 60 to 70, the game should be kind of guiding you, pushing you on the path to success. It should prepare you. Engagement can do that. I'm just saying engagement is also can be in terms of entertainment there. I'm just going to say that right now. But I'm saying the game should have, at the very least, I'm not saying make it more difficult. I don't know why people kept saying that, hey, you just want the game to be more difficult. Never said that. Never said that. I said the game should be more engaging. I think it needs a bit more tutorialization. It's not really teaching people to get to just I mean, we have like what, 300 hours, 400 hours of like story content, and you're saying that maybe the dungeon should just stay the same so people can get through the story and people should just, play dress up. Like getting to the end of Dawn Trail, right? We get to the end of Dawn Trail. I would expect a person to know the most simple of mechanics, right? To be at least pretty good at the job that they main throughout the story, right? I mean, I'm just saying, is that too much to ask? These are just little bitches that don't want to put effort into anything in life. I won't say that. They're obviously putting effort into something, but I won't say that. Isn't that they're not good enough, usually more they don't try enough. Swore there's someone who beat the MSQ one-handed. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it. I'm not asking for the game to be more difficult. I'm asking it for engagement, to actually teach the players while you're going through the game. You're not going to sit there and start flatlining the difficulty, or I shouldn't even say difficulty, but flatlining just like how the game engages and it's designed in terms of like bosses in the dungeon itself. I would say more or less the bosses, right? Like, I'm saying you shouldn't be coasting your players through the game. I don't think you should. I think you want to make a video game, and I think people should also be engaged with said video game. You can like the story and still like the dungeon because it, at the very least, was interesting. So people are at the bottom of a barrel effort. They aren't worth discussing with. They're trolls or just not the target audience to begin with. But that's the thing. This is where I get confused, because they probably are the target audience. Is like, they probably are. Like, it baffles my mind, because the people who came into these comments, right, and had these scathing remarks, which by the way, I'm fine. I'm like confused. And look, people are agreeing, obviously, but like, why do you want the game to be uninteresting? All right, you ain't doing that again, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't you want to be able to, like, go through a story and then you go into a dungeon excited because of the story, and the dungeon was, like, really interesting and engaged you? It started making, like, it's pushing you to learn your job more. It's pushing you to learn your role more, right? I'm not asking for them to, like, drill it into your head. Honestly, people quit the game because they don't want to put in an effort into dungeons. I've heard people were quitting the game because of Dawn Trail's difficulty. I mean, I'm sorry if that's the case, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault. I say it's not their fault. I think that's the fault of the game itself. Personally, I think Stormblood was the perfect mix between challenging and acceptable accessibility. Accessible enough. After that, it just went downhill. And in terms of content, I have to say, after 10 years of the same formula, it just feels stale. Okay, well, this person agrees with me. I'm not gonna say that I was basically subbed all the time until Dawn Trail. This expansion is the first where I haven't been subbed like half of the time because everything just gotten stale. Gameplay is too streamlined. Content feels exact. Well, okay, so this person basically is like on my mind path. The amount of dead systems in the game astonishes me. I sometimes feel like I've been transported back to WoD days of World of Warcraft when I play Final Fantasy XIV. Just dead. Forgotten systems everywhere I look. You know what? I think that's kind of the curse of an MMO. Oh, this guy's trolling. This guy's trolling. This person's trolling. No game is meant to be forever game. Final Fantasy doesn't have problems. You just have problems with Final Fantasy because you have been playing so long that you're tired of it. I played WoW for tens of thousands of hours. Eventually, I just got bored. I moved on to Final Fantasy and I love it. And I do not have an issue. All these long-time players have. That's how games work. I'm sorry, but you aren't meant to spend 20k hours playing the game. This person's trolling. It's you aren't meant to do anything for that long and still enjoy it. MMORPGs are supposed to be community. If a long-time member of the community has a problem, then I think it's an issue. This person has to be trolling. You can't be serious about that comment. You cannot be serious about that comment. Like, this person has to be trolling. Folks, do we think this is a troll right here? There's no way that this is an actual opinion. There's a thing, two actual dead systems, Squadron and Diadem, even modern Diadem. True. I don't even remember if I've ever touched Squadron in the past few years, actually. And I know I haven't touched Diadem for years, bro. Tell that as a Path of Exile player and their 100 plus K hours. That's not the point. Point is, what they're saying is, the game is not meant to be a forever game. I get that. No game is meant to be a forever game. I get that. I mean, as long as the game is available, I'm going to play the game. I mean, come on. And there was that one reply saying like MMORPGs are supposed to be communities, which they are. But like, that's how games work. I'm sorry, but you aren't meant to spend 20k hours. First of all, I did not spend 20k hours. I only spent... What's the equivalent of 3,700 days? I don't think I spent 20k hours in the game. I thank you. But played WoW for tens of thousands of hours and I got bored from it. I mean, that's a personal problem for you, buddy. You're saying that you're saying that older people in the game, like people who've been playing the game for a long time, shouldn't be playing the game after a while. We should just move on with our lives and let new players come in. I know that's not what you're saying. That's not what you're saying. That's not what this person is saying. But it's kind of, there has to be a troll. Guess GCs are technically dead. Yeah, I guess so. No game should last forever. I don't know. Triple F companies don't really want to believe that. I mean, there are AAA companies that live and thrive on live services because they want that continuous revenue. All games should last forever. Honestly, I kind of want to believe that, because I also want to play like old games, you know. Boomer Healer main here. Oh, most unpopular. Rip Summoner when it was the true pet class, like Demon, Lock, and Beastmaster for Warrior. Oh my gosh. What's this person have to say? I miss Cleric stance during Heaven's Word. True. Era cards and Astro were my favorite iteration, as I personally like Royal Road and working with what I got instead of fishing for balance. We also lost a lot of fun buffs over the years, and it's really just boiled down to defense, shield, and regions. No more spell skills, speed increases, no buff extensions, eye for an eye gone, disable, gone, virus, only for DPS. Heavy downplay on removal of binds, heavy knockback, sleep, Asuna. Bubbles are huge, so there's no skill or strategy involved with placement anymore. All of that is true. There's a lot of other roles that I miss as well. I miss mana shift. I personally like TP management. Okay, that's the thing. I was indifferent about it, but you know, as a Dark Knight, you ran out of TP real fast. Playing physical and the monk. Let's not talk about monk and them and them getting a buff. A speed buff. Having MP and TP region for physical range, like they remove TP from classes that uses it, but still have MP around being useless for a non-caster, minus Dark Knight and Paladin. Why? I loved pre-Shadowbringer pets and Dot Summoner. They really stripped down jobs, just the basics, to just the basics in the name of balance, but now everything feels very samey. I think this is more or less the majority I see from a lot of people who align with like my thought process, really. No, you send these people through Armvale as a healer check. Teach them to use their kits from early on, I say. Oh, that's one of our mods. God damn it, Calcor. Let me see. I think this is the same person. No one should have to be optimized. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, it's not as bad. To be optimized X to clear non-challenge mode content. I don't understand how people legitimately hold this argument. This isn't your second job game failure. It's a game, and no, people don't mean just read your tooltips and do basics. They mean be moderately optimized, have read the balance, have watched for guides and job guides. I've never said that. The whole point of the video was that the game should be teaching you how to play the game. So I hope you're not saying that that's what I said. I'm thinking he's talking about what most people say, but that's not what I said. People understand what they're demanding of people. Encounters are now more mechanically complex. Yeah, it is, than they've ever been in the game's history, and the majority of players don't do Savage. That is very true. The majority of player base doesn't want to engage with challenge content. They just want to chill for an hour after work before going to bed. That is an opinion. That's not a fact. That is an opinion that he is having. I think there are people who want to engage with the game. That is an opinion. That is an opinion. And gaming used to be like this. Either go back and look at how people played Vanilla WoW or Realm Reborn Final Fantasy. The world first Twintania kill, the white mage didn't use any dots as far as I could tell you watching it. I remember that, and I do know that people were heavily invested in a Realm Reborn's raids. In fact, there was like a whole event with that. Even back in the day, people were kind of mean, saying like you should do more anyway. Nobody coasted through anything in a Realm Reborn. I could tell you that for sure, brother. So I don't know about Vanilla WoW. That's not my territory. I have no idea. You guys can tell me, but I don't know about Vanilla WoW. But a Realm Reborn Final Fantasy? Ooh. A Realm Reborn Final Fantasy? No. People were jackasses back in those days, man. They would constantly be like, I need you to do this. Well, you have to do that. Get the fuck out of the party. Why can't you play tank right? Why can't you play DPS right? It was absolutely insane back in those days, man. I don't know what era they're from. The first Twintwania kill was like something celebrated because people were optimizing the shit out of things, right? He said gaming used to not be like this. Are you kidding me? If you're talking about generally in gaming, people didn't come back from work and played games and coasted, or let me just say, they didn't just sit down and pick up a controller and turn their brain off while playing games. No. Gaming did not used to be like that, but gaming could be a relaxing time. Gaming was a variety of things. It can be that, and it can be very much engaging. I do think variant dungeons should be around more, and I do think that like Blackrock depths are cool, but that can't be the room. And I very much reject the idea people should be optimizing parse queens or get the fuck out. I never said that neither. That's dumb, and dungeons are teaching people how to properly play the game they're playing. They're not preparing them for Savage, but only like 1/3 of the player base wants to play Savage. Other people don't need to be pushed into that, and I'm sick and tired of people insisting that everyone does, and I've cleared Savage, I can play at that level, I don't find it fun. Well, that's your problem, not mine. And I never said anybody should be prepared for Savage. I never said any of that. He's saying that the dungeons are teaching people. I disagree that early dungeons are teaching people how to play the game. I disagree with that. Should I say that they're teaching people how to play a lot of the game, if not how the game is designed and the way it was from Shadowbringers to Endwalker to Dawntrail? Kind of. But early dungeons don't really give you the gamer sense or prepare you for what's to happen, not even in Endwalker, let alone Dawntrail. Are you kidding me? I disagree with that, but here's the funny thing. They have a point. They have a point. And their point is that the game actually kind of is teaching a player how to play the game. Because throughout, maybe like all the way up through Shadowbringers, it was teaching you to play the game in this very low effort way. So it was teaching you how to play the game. But then when you get to Dawntrail and it whoops your ass, like, what am I supposed to tell you? Again, those people should watch a movie, TV series, and visual novel if they're playing a game with the expectation to do nothing and chill. They're doing it wrong. It didn't used to be like that, dude. Dude, you ever played Ghouls and Ghosts, Mega Man, Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania? What dimension did you come out of? I don't know. They didn't teach people. They don't teach people anymore. I didn't say they teach people how to play the game at the current iteration that it is. It's teaching them how to play the game that it wants them to be able to play the game in. So like once you reach Shadowbringers and Endwalker, well, through your experience from A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Word, and Stormblood, well, you'll do just fine. Some don't realize a lot of stuff leading up to Titan is a direct lesson of how to fight Titan. You know, people still hate Titan. People still hate Titan hard mode. I see many issues with that approach. Players who have played this game for years, I think, tend to forget that to actually get to in-game dungeons, assuming they didn't just boost, it took them somewhat around 300 plus hours. Expecting somebody to play moderately fine after so much time seemed to be a realistic expectation. With that information in mind, it is also fair to expect some level of difficulty from the game. Sure, the end game is truly a hard part, but you need so much time to actually get there that if all the content before it was easy, I'm gonna say that, to the point that it starts to become boring, it's just not a good design in my book. Expecting someone to play, many people play games for fun and relaxation. Nobody's actually going to take that away from anybody. I think you're right about that. You're not expecting them to play moderately fine, you're expecting them to play moderately optimized. No. This person says moderately fine. Now you're just changing up the definition of what they're saying. So that's kind of in bad faith. And the suitable distinction is highly relevant. No, they said moderately fine. They didn't say moderately optimized. It's like saying if a player plays a musical instrument 300 hours, they should be playing symphonies when they're like to mess around with simple melodies. What? A symphony? Playing symphonies? Do you know what a symphony is? I don't think this person is using English right. You know what a symphony is? The difficulty of the game is from the challenge content. It's there for people like you that want to do it. You don't have to do other stuff other than once through for MSQ when you don't have it optimized anyway yourself. Entirely missing the point here, though. They're entirely missing the point. This is why I'm a semantic man. Don't fucking change what I say, you crass ass. Like, they said play moderately fine. That's what they said. Play moderately fine. They didn't say play moderately optimized. That's like bad faith. You're trying to change what they're saying in an English argument here. This argument of yours requires an assumption that people only do things explicitly to get really good at them. Not at all. That is not what they said. This person said nothing of the sort. They said, don't you think it would make sense that after you've played the game for over 300 plus hours that you have already gained experience and skills? Like, you're not going to play any video game that you've been playing for hundreds of hours and not know how to play the video game. It ignores that gaming is a hobby to many people, just like the person dabbling with ocarina because they like a Zelda game, not because they want to become a musician. Excuse me? What? Maybe somebody wanted to play the ocarina because they like the Legend of Zelda, and maybe because they like the Legend of Zelda and they like the ocarina that they start going into music. I'm just saying, they could become a musician because they like the ocarina from the Ocarina of Time from Legend of Zelda. In fact, there are plenty of stories of people who like certain video games with good music and they become musicians. I don't know. I've never agreed with that premise, but that premise is required for your argument to be valid. Many players do not find current dungeons to be boring. Well, that's an opinion that you're having. That is an opinion that you are having. Many casual players quit the game in 7.0 and said so on the forums and Reddit because the dungeons were no longer relaxing and were too intense. See, that's what I said. Too intense and hard. You may disagree, but people don't need to be pushed to be better if they aren't going to do hard content. No one's asking anyone to do hard content. No one's asking you to do hard content. No one is asking you to do hard content. I have to say it 3 times just so that we can all understand that this person up here is not asking people to do hard content. I do think there should be more bridge content between normal and MSQ difficulty and extreme plus hard content. Well, extreme's not really that hard, if you ask me. But I would agree with that. But I don't think the way to that is by forcing normal difficulty into being medium difficulty content. That's a terrible idea. Excuse me, do I have paint here? I do have paint, yes. Okay. I just want to point this out. So, okay, that's not thick enough here. We need a thick line. Can we just? I need a thicker line. I need a thicker line. Well, I need a. Can I I just get a thicker line here. Wait.
That's it.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So, oh no, that's a brush. Ew. Okay, that's better. So, okay, all right. So here we go. So let's just say this is the average player currently. That's the average player here. So average player currently in Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, so as difficulty would go, right? Let's make difficulty yellow. Okay, so the difficulty currently goes like this, right? So like in the beginning, difficulty is fine, right? It goes up a little bit, and then it keeps going up, but it starts straightening out its path, right? You know what? Even better. It goes like this, straight up. It starts aligning with the average person, right? And it does this for years. So this is A R R. This is Heaven's Word. This is Stormblood. This is Shadowbringers. And fuck it, here's Endwalker. And here's Dawntrail. Right? So here's the difficulty bar. You know what? Screw that. We're gonna make it blue. So here's the difficulty bar right here. And then it just coasts out, right? It coasts out. Then it slightly goes up because of the design, right? But it coasts out again in Endwalker, if not lowers a little. And then when you get to Dawntrail, the difficulty goes up, right? Now, the average player is still in Stormblood, right? They're still in Stormblood. Once they get into Shadowbringers, they start feeling a little bit. So let's give a little credit to the people who are average when they are slowly rising up here with Shadowbringers. Their average goes about here. And then when they get to Dawntrail, they hit the wall. This is kind of the stupid graph that we have here for the average player right now. Like, I'm just saying, how many classes you have left? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I have. Well, I need to check. I need to check something for that. Let me check my my affinity photo. Yes, I have affinity photo. If you have Photoshop, my best suggestion, affinity photo. Switch over if you want to get rid of Adobe, affinity photo. While that's going on, so let me bring paint back out. I think I have like maybe like 12 jobs left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I have 11 or 12. But this right here, can we agree that this is kind of the graph where we're at? Average person comes in. Maybe the average person already plays video games. So like maybe they even start down here, right? They're invested in the MMO. We're gonna try and do that, right? We're gonna erase this. Got it. We're gonna erase this. right? So the average person is growing with the game because the game is subtly teaching you how to play its own game. You get to Heavensward, you're already prepared for Heavensward, and it stays the same level for about Heavensward and Stormblood. Now, Shadowbringers and Endwalker only slightly goes up, right? So the player slightly goes up with the game itself. But you could see here that Endwalker slightly goes down because the difficulty really doesn't ramp up in Endwalker. It kind of coasts out. It kind of gets a little bit easy. And then when you get to Dawn Trail, then it's like, oh shit, what happened here? Like, what the fuck happened? Right? I'm gonna get rid of this line here. Because, let's be honest here. I would think that the average player would get good at the very least around, like, I believe that they're being taught the game the way that it is because of the design that they brought over. Because Shadowbringers and Endwalker was the start of the real design that they wanted to throw at you, you know? Is your last minor wall. That's the people that don't want to put in effort. Well, we're going to call them the average player. I have too many classes yet, got a level to trust. Oh my gosh. I've been wanting to switch off of Adobe. Shit, too expensive. How expensive is Affinity? I think Affinity is not too expensive. I think it's like a one-time payment of like $50, I think. I trust. I finished Shadowbringers a few months ago, and I felt that spike starting right around Xenos and Shinryu and Stormblood. Right. So, like, at the very least, Heavensward and Stormblood are kind of at the same point of, like, engagement. Let's call it engagement, right? It's teaching you the game at kind of a similar level here, and that's only because of the influence of what they did back in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. They were like, let's change some of these dungeons so that it can fit the feel of Shadowbringers and Endwalker. Okay, so when you get to Shadowbringers, you start feeling a little bit of that challenge, but you know what? At the same time, it's teaching you all about that. So like everything you've learned back here can kind of fit here and here. It fits Shadowbringers, it fits Endwalker. In fact, you start feeling a little bit of ease in Endwalker. And then when you get to Dawn Trail, you hit a wall. And then you're just like, I don't want to play this game no more. Because it's too difficult. I feel Stormblood was bigger climb. I feel Stormblood was a bigger climb in terms of skill. Sorry, messed up the word. Okay. So let's see this then. What? Line. Oh, it's not thick. Why? I need a thicker brush. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, now it's real thick. Okay, let's... Yeah. Okay, let's just believe that I did this only one time. Anyway, so... Average player here. Like, let's do the average gameplay, right? You know what? I'm being generous. I'm being too generous here. Let me start over. I'm being way too generous here. You guys are right. I'm being way too generous. Let's do a darker color here. Okay, let's do blue. So, here's the game. Here's A Realm Reborn, right? So, it starts leveling out here. Then you get to Heavensward. Right? And then you get the Shadowbringers. A little bit more, right? I said Shadowbringers, sorry, Stormblood. Then you get the Shadowbringers, it rises just a little bit, right? Get to Endwalker, and let's be honest, it's kind of stays the same. But then when you get to Dawn Trail, for what people feel like it is, it feels like that. It feels like it just ramped up. That's what people feel like, right? So let's go back to the average player. The average player is right around here, right? Let's say that they have some skill at playing video games. So they're going to ride this line. They're riding it, dude. Look at this. They're riding this line. They're just with it this whole entire time. But then when they get to Dawn Trail, they kind of level out. Like, the average player is quite literally following the game for what it is. But then when they make it to Dawn Trail, it's like, what? Why? I started playing 14 about halfway through last year now, and that I'm finally getting into high-end content. I'm doing weekly clears of Unreal. As of right now, Suzaku is crazy. Suzaku's fun. Tank has felt the hardest. Suzaku's fun. Suzaku's fun. I will say that Shadowbringers, Stormblood had some good times. I think Stormblood was right around the time where people started feeling kind of like the burnout for 14. And then when they came out with Shadowbringers, they were all like revitalized because they did up the ante just a little bit there. But and it was their peak. Their peak was Shadowbringers. Endwalker comes in. Story-wise, great. Content-wise, kind of mid. Then they come out with Dawn Trail. Story-wise, questionable. Content-wise, gameplay-wise, they up the ante there, you know. Damage check has me clenching as a Sam. Have fun with that. Like, especially if you get to Unreal. Yeah, Unreal, Suzaku is crazy, right? They don't want to pay attention. They don't want to try and put effort in there. I want to say that the Ice Cream Man's out there. You hear it? You hear the Ice Cream Man? Probably not, because the music in the background. But this is what I see. This is exactly what I see when it comes right down to it. I'm not asking for incredible difficulty. I'm more or less, this is what I'm asking for. Let's what color am I? I'll go with green. This is what I'm asking for. I'm asking for basically this. That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for that, so that people are riding that line all the way up with it. I'm not saying make it difficult. I'm saying, okay, start out, tutorialize yourself, and the player gets better along the way. It's not a whole efforts thing. It's not a I want you to go out and go to a third-party website thing. That's what I'm talking. This is what I'm talking about. Get me some. Heard it briefly. Same. How about wait, do you guys remember, I don't know how many of you live in the United States, so you wouldn't know this. There used to be a really ratchet, like probably from some sort of ratchet part of the city, under street looking kind of ice cream truck with a cone on the top. Not Mr. Softies. It's not called Mr. Softies. It's not called that. Mr. Softies was something else. But they had this really ugly Sonic the Hedgehog popsicle with two candy balls for eyes. And it was so scary to look at that. Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that? Oh, actually it went up. Those eyes were up. You've seen the pictures? Oh, let's Sonic the Hedgehog popsicles. Oh, this person got the luckiest popsicle I've ever seen. What is this fakeness? There it is. That's the proper popsicle. There it is. There's the proper popsicle. There it is. Look at this. What happened, man? Oh, look. That's some popsicle you got there. Yo, these popsicles, man. What the heck? Those black eyes, dude. Oh, man. Sonic popsicles, dude. The original movie design popsicles. Oh, man. Just how even, listen, you don't question it. You take that, you start going at it. You take those gumballs and you chew it for the rest of the day. This video is so crazy. Who the fuck plays sweaty in dungeons? Well, I wasn't, man. don't say that. So weird how the community is split with this. Even the like-dislike ratio here, but he's right about every single point. Like, come on. I don't know, man. I don't know. I miss Sorkai Original Arena. Like, oh, they actually got a like for this. Thank God. I miss Sorkai Original Arena. It was one of the most unique ones in the entire game. Now it's generic circle, most bosses meh. Same with coin counter, no telegraphs. You actually have to pay attention to his wind-up animations. This is why Monster Hunter... No, it's another one! Oh, by the way, let me just do that real quick. I have to center my camera. Monster Hunter is a very good example of a game that tutorializes people into getting good at the game. That is like the perfect game that I could come up as an example. Like, I mean, the game Monster Hunter, depending on what you play, could be good, it could be hard, could be easy, could be mid, I don't know. But like for me, the newest Monster Hunter helped me get better. It taught me how to get better. Like, honestly, my experience was that my first Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter World. That's my admittance. My first Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter World, specifically made for the casual crowd, right? Then they came out with Monster Hunter Rise, which had a bit of I think it had a bit of like a difficulty up there, because mechanics, riding the monsters, being able to recover from like different heights and stuff, your wolf pal friendo, you know, the mount mechanic with that just as well. But then I went back and started playing other Monster Hunter games, you know? Watched a video and that's what you introduced me to, but you kept apologizing and I'm like, but you're not wrong, bro. I was like, I'm trying to tell people, because, you know, I was trying to avoid, like, I was trying to play, like, who the fuck plays sweaty in dungeons, right? I'm trying to avoid that. I wanted people to understand this, right? I'm not saying that I want the game to be more difficult. I'm saying I want it to be more engaging, and people took it as, why the fuck are you so sweaty? Dark Knight used to have a better self-heal than current warrior. Visual Drain being a GCD with life leech, effect with dark arts buff, and Soul Survivor. Oh, Soul Survivor. Don't do that to me, please. Don't. If any enemy died with it on, with Dark Knight would heal with fixed amount of HP and MP. You even needed to balance your MP and use it on Dark Side debuff. Also drained your MP. Well, let's be technical here. They brought back Soul Survivor in PvP. They're like, we're not going to bring it back in the actual PvE, but you know what? You can have it in PvP. Still doesn't make the Dark Knight all that great, though. So, like, I mean, it's a pretty good tank in PvP. I'm just saying, it's like, you know, you can still beat a Dark Knight. 3 MP, auto refresh, blah, blah. Dark Knight is dumbed down. Just save 3k MP for TBN. That's for your management. That whole, I don't like how you have to use all of your MP for TBN. I mean, if it has to use your MP for TBN, there should be some leeway to it, right? Like, you're not really using your MP in a good fashion, in a more, I would say, useful. Like, it just feels as though it's another gauge to just be there now, because you use it for Flutter Edge and TBN. That's it. You're using it Flood Edge TBN. That's all you use your MP for Dark Knight. You know what's weird, Asmongold? We'll probably agree with most of this. Maybe even Xeno would. I think Xeno would. I think Xeno would. Rise's endgame, in my opinion, is almost more difficult than World's endgame if the player wasn't so overkitted. I heard that Rise's Rise altogether was probably more difficult than Worlds. I could be wrong about that. I didn't play till the end of Rise. I stopped, admittedly. I see all these old boy Sams reminiscing about some old moves. I'm just like, huh? You missed out. That's what happened. Can confirm, or I am that friend who called upon after tormenting myself. I mean, figuring it out first. So wait. One thing as to why they had to change some dungeons in older expansions, mostly to accommodate for the trust system. Let's face it, not everyone who jumps into an MMO will have the one friend they can call upon at all times to help them queue up for old dungeons. Oh, that's fair, right? Like if you're going into a trust, right? You're using the trust system, especially if they're DPS. That's fair. Being able to do it with an NPC party, I'm not saying anything against that. Honestly, yeah, I think that's fine. So in a way, they had to dumb down some mechanics while retweaking others. Granted, pretty sure, I don't know if they really changed the old dungeons for the trust though, because that would make their AI that they've specifically created for this game seem less. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that. I don't want to say that their AI for, I mean, well, they do kill, apparently they get killed in stupid mechanics anyway. Granted, pretty sure a lot of the hard mode dungeons in Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word are still actually fairly hard unless you know what you're doing. I guess I'm not a good reference point for that one, because I've been through them so many times, hundreds of times, that I could probably fall asleep and still get through the dungeon. World's difficulty spike is all at the end of the DLC with the last few hunts. Rise's entire DLC is a major difficulty spike. Ah, okay. Okay, you'd have more knowledge on me on that one. Not the strongest argument though, because the new Hall of Novice shows that the AI can do the mechanics we're supposed to know. I think they programmed the Hall of Novice in a way where they were not going to fail whatsoever, whereas going through a dungeon, due to variables and probably some RNG involved, numbers is a thing, I would think that some things could be like misaligned there. The amount of times Cherry almost fell asleep playing Black Mage in older dungeons. Too many? Hey, I think something that's lost on some people is that this is a Japanese game built for Japanese players. They will they would optimize things, I'm guessing that's what they're saying, and get better at them without being required by challenge a lot more than Western players. So while yes, the dungeons on easy, they will still put a lot of effort into learning how to do things the best way and will not try to coast by as much as we do in the West. Okay, wait, what? I mean, in a way, yeah, Japanese people would probably want to do more, and I do know that there's a culture of, like, you know, being stern and doing your best in a lot of things, but if a game isn't really teaching you how to play at its fullest, at its best, why try so hard in the first place? And maybe that's a Western thing, right? I'm Western thinking, and what they're talking about is Eastern thinking, but I don't know. That's debatable. Well, this person says, bullshit, this is an MMORPG released by Square Enix to take money. The mentality of this game built for Japanese players is bullshit. The dungeons are way too easy and some people still fail because they refuse to learn basic mechanics. People that defend the current state of Final Fantasy XIV harm the game. Ooh, that's I wouldn't go that far. After every patch, we only get one freaking dungeon. How lazy can you be? And let's not forget the weekly token limit is 450. That's an insult for my time. They couldn't even make it to 500, so you only need to spend 4 weeks to cap. Oh my goodness, I don't know if that's. That's almost attacking the devs there. That's almost attacking the devs there. They're saying after every patch we only get one freaking dungeon. How lazy can you be? I don't know, that's a little far. This is the worst take ever. Oof. Oof. I think if you want to get good at a game, people will try to get good at the game, you know? Well, I mean, we went through that. I hope we didn't get like anything. Yeah, people are watching a video right now. We're getting more comments. We're getting more comments. I think it sucks they've gotten lazy with the dungeon design when 2 expansions ago they cut it down to 1 to save dev time. And with the lazy design, oh geez, we're attacking the devs again? With the lazy design and less dungeons, we still get just straight up asset reuse. Like I think most of the level 100 dungeons have at least one mob that's just a Final Fantasy 13 model in them. The reuse isn't as cute as when we're getting patents every patch. Or pittance at every patch. Well, okay. The latest dungeon is honestly a bad example because all the bosses in that are reuse assets. Yes. I mean, this is a big game. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Dungeons are nice, however, in my opinion, I feel it feels bad being max level, barely ever being max level for what you do due to level syncing everywhere. What's the point of your power and skill when you don't really have them? In dungeons are just a source for resources. The gear doesn't matter. I think it could be interesting having something similar-ish to WoW's, and plus a scaling difficulty with fitting rewards. This could add difficulty for people who want it, and maybe more mechanics to teach people more stuff. Most importantly, it would add content that feels actually worthwhile other than weekly raids and savages or whatever. In my opinion, it could also give people who don't do savage or ultimate something a bit more challenging to do. Whatever the case, they need something for new players and veterans alike, so they won't feel like a waste of time after the story. Well, apparently new players are fine and the veterans are just being, you know, elite asshats. So I don't know. No, please, no mythic. I think what they're saying is they like maybe I guess they are talking about mythics. A rising difficulty in terms of dungeons is what they're saying, but you know, maybe not in, I don't know if they want it directly or exactly the design of Mythic Plus from World of Warcraft. They should bring hard versions of dungeons back. I think they should too. Or something. I think they should too. Something. I mean, I want to be able to be like engaged. If it's more challenging, it's more challenging. If it has different mechanics, it has different mechanics. But I'm not asking for the game to be ball-bustingly hard. I'm not asking that. I'm asking for the game to properly, you know, have people play their game at a rate that when they, you know, a steady line of experience and being able to play the game. Like, I'm not saying get forced to play and optimize yourself or something like that. That's silly. That's silly. You know what? I don't think I turned it. Mythic Plus became bullshit when it was remade. How's Mythic Plus? When was it remade? What happened to it? What happened to Mythic Plus? Well, is it because I got into Mythic Plus in Dragonflight? So that's the last time I did any kind of World of Warcraft thing, is Dragonflight. Anybody who plays World of Warcraft, please tell me what is going on in that game. Please tell me. I have no idea what is happening in that game. I want to know. Ult Mythic Plus only really became harder after plus 12 or so, but when it got remade, Toddy and I struggled to even do a freaking plus 1. Excuse me? When did that change happen? $15? What the fuck? There we go, 6 minutes. Never played WoW, but I swear I hear so much copium. But so is Final Fantasy on the copium train. True. Very, very true. Very, very true. I like the comment that you said before. Where was it? Where was it? I watched the video, and that's what introduced me to you, but you kept apologizing, and I'm like, what? But you did. You're not wrong, bro. Oh man. A lot of people sees a YouTuber as two different things. They're black and white with all this. Either you're extreme with your views, or you're incredibly passive and your belly's up. And I'm trying to be like somewhere in the middle, where it's like, hey, let's meet halfway to understand each other. Because I'm not going to say screw all the casuals, right? I'm never going to say screw all the casuals. They deserve to be able to play the game too. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, get good, son. No, I'm not. I'm never going to say that, because if I said get good, you know, some people really can't get that good, you know, and it's not a fault of themselves really, because the game taught them how to play the game. And the game taught them how to coast through the game, you know what I'm saying? Suture will say for you, get good. I'm just saying, I'm putting this out there. I will meet people halfway, right? I want to understand what people are thinking. That's the reason why I said, please put whatever you're thinking in the comments. I want to know what you're thinking. Let's discuss this. And some people come in with very scathing things. Okay, I'll still read it. Alright, so what leveling dungeon are we in? This is the leveling dungeon? Okay. This is the first dungeon in Dawn Trail. So, like, is this the real difficulty spike here? That's the question. Like, as soon as you get here, is this the difficulty spike? Cause like, even at this I enjoyed this dungeon. Let's be to be honest, I enjoyed this dungeon. There wasn't anything difficult about this. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I was like, what the heck? You know what? No, I'll do single. I'll do single target. I'll do some single targets. I'm still not seeing the difficulty here, though. So, Dawn Trail is supposed to be the difficulty spike for a lot of people. Oh, I have too much mana. I've been focusing way too much on dark mana. Yeah, so this is supposed to be the difficulty spike. Somewhere around here. And maybe it's the first boss. First boss wasn't even that bad. This boss was just bullshit. Scaling was out of the charts, and some of the added mechanics were downright cruel, especially if it was a harder dungeon. You don't need like add-ons to do any of the mythics, right? Like it wasn't that bad, was it? What? No. Dude, I almost left. I was about to be like, all right, guys, see you. I backflipped into the exit. I was about to leave. No, I didn't need add-ons for it, but the rework was just overtuned. Ah. Ah. It would suck if you were playing in a dungeon. You would need add-ons to figure out how to get through a dungeon, which should be the local like entertainment and challenge for all players playing said MMO. I'm just saying, it would be weird. Alright, so I know this be some ridiculousness right here. Ooh. But this guy's not even that hard. I'm just saying. Oh no, we got a bot. Dang it, man. What the heck? I'm guessing it was that. I think it was that. It has to be. Uh-oh. That was a little late there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ads are not being pulled. Okay, that was weird. Ads weren't being pulled. Plenty of time to reach it here, too. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. That's an AoE, right? No, you gone. You gone! You gone! Still remember the 75 era relic for 11 that felt almost impossible. 11 era relics. That's a time where I have to say that the grinding really got real. But I can appreciate it. I really could. I could really appreciate it. If you have a game that engages you, I don't see why not, you know? People seem to fear difficulty within a game for some reason. And I'm like, why is everybody like always saying and posting on the... People always go back to, you just want the game to be harder. You just want to be the game. You want the game to be harder. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. Why does everybody keep saying that? No, that's not what I want. Jerry cries and play lines. Hate parts in fight where you can't attack boss. Padding. They call it padding. Dude, it's just padding. You do it all the time in like almost every boss, but like drawing out a fight for like a spectacle, I think a lot of people do that nowadays, you know? It was just a game to be prepared for people with difficulty that currently dawn trail. We want them to wake up. Like, no, really, I want them to wake the hell up. It's like, what are you doing? Huh? Like, can you imagine turning your brain off while playing any kind of competitive game? Like, name a competitive game that you might play like every single day. Right? Like, I certainly want people to turn their brain off, and this is not even a competitive game, but like in if you're playing Phantasy Star New Genesis, it's like another MMO game, but like even there, I think they would want plenty. Oh shoot, I messed up there. I'm thinking they would love for many people to be more engaged in that game. Like, God knows what else they get into if not get engaged in that. You need to place a lot of happy cat alarm clocks around the player. And I also would love to see a change to this. To the loot. I would like for like loot drops to actually matter. That isn't like maybe like halfway through the dungeon, or not even matter at all. I forgot to like level up Viper partway through when I was leveling it, and that's only because I was like, oh man, I really don't have the equipment to, because I never worked on Ninja like that. I didn't have the equipment to get from like level 96 to level 100. But like nothing really changed. Whoa, I'm dead. I was standing right up in the middle. Oh no. Thank you. Thank you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Knees? Gesundheit? Still not seeing the difficulty. I mean, I died, but that was me not paying attention. There it is. I was like, where is it? Oh no. Okay. I forgot about lucid dreaming. I feel bad. Honestly, Duntrail dungeons aren't hard. They just make you pay attention. It's almost like they have some sort of engagement in it or something. I don't know. It's like, you got me. It's like you're investing some time to pay the attention or something. I don't know. Whoop. Might have not gotten hit. Might have gotten hit. Vanguard bullet hell. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like that sequence because it's like you have to pay attention. But oh, look at that. You know what? The funny thing about that swipe wasn't that. Didn't that used to not have a telegraph? Didn't that not used to have a telegraph? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. Didn't that used to be like a thing? You know, somewhere at level 49, a boss taught you that not all mobs have telegraphs. But you know what? It looks like he has a telegraph now. Let me stop. Absolutely stupid of me to go on and talk about that. Oh, I was like, wait a minute, where is it? I still remember stance dancing as a tank. You know what they said about stance dancing back in the day? They said stance dancing was like an acquired skill for a tank, and I knew plenty of tanks that didn't do stance dancing at all. Like, you need to have a skill at stance dancing to do harder dungeons, and it's just like, no, that's not exactly right. You do, the reason why there is stance dancing in the first place is because it was optimizing the DPS for tanks. That, I mean, uh-oh. There we go. Oh, I forgot to use manification. It was only one. It was only one. It was only one. I'm not dead. But you know what it did teach me? To pay the attention. I didn't make it. I regular ran. I should have sprinted. Should have did that, but I didn't. I want to say, oof, oof. Well, oh man, yeah, I messed up that entirely. Okay, let's see. Wait, do I have that? I don't. Oh, and I still didn't get it. I still didn't get it. No. No, I still didn't get it. Ugh. That sucks. Sucks to suck. I'm gonna do one expert. And I know what dungeon it's gonna be. It's gonna be the boring ass dungeon, or it's going to be. Wait, what vies for expert nowadays? Sorry, let me see something. Oh, there's only 2 that vies for it, and then there's the level cap dungeons. I forgot level cap is like a thing. They have level cap and expert. And it's funny you should say expert, because now in Dawn Trails you need to be an expert to play this game. I can't say that I'm not. Oh, Jesus, man. I'm not surprised. You know what? I think we're good today. I think we've expressed how we felt in those comments. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Trying to see if there's any friends online. Any friends? Ariel's playing Spyro the Dragon.
Good night. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it each and every time. Next scheduled stream is going to be Friday.
Never mind, she's closing out. Okay, Calcor's playing Among Us.
That's terrifying.
That's horrifying. Could you imagine a vampire in your corner?
Are you like hiding in the bushes?
Okay, alright. So I'm gonna send you guys over to Calcor.
He does lots of collabs. It's one of the many reasons I live here. Yeah, I mean, I want to meet more people and hang out with more people.
He's playing Among Us. That's always a good time. And because he's playing Among Us, I think you guys should have a good time playing with the man of the hour. I'm going to spam chat maybe a little bit with his Twitch chat, or with his Twitch for YouTube. Adios, YouTube. Thank you for popping on in. I'm going to end the stream for you guys right now. Have a good one.